Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Michelle from Michelle's Empty Nest, and today we're going to look at another month in what I'm calling my flashback, Project Life flashback to 2020. This was the year I started scrapbooking, and I intended to do Project Life when I started in January. However, I did not start this until last year in 2021, and it's not finished yet. So I am just going to share with you a month at the time as I finish the month. And I'm kind of working on all 3 years concurrently. So I pull out all of my March things and work on March spreads, and I pull out all of my April things and I'll work on April spreads. So I'm trying to do that as a way to get 2020, 2021, and 2022 all done this year. So I did want to show you a few stamp sets that I'm using. It's kind of the consistent element throughout my album. My title cards themselves do not look the same, but the stamps that I'm using on them do. So the first one is this set from Citrus Twist Kits, and it's called Weekish, and it just has week in several different sizes and fonts. And so I love being able to just kind of vary it up, but then you see that same font again a few pages later, and they just really work well together. And that one has been in and out of stock. I don't know if it is at the present moment. I will look and see, and if it is available, I will definitely link it below. Then for the week numbers, I'm using the calendar days set from Everyday Explorers, and it's great because it already has the double-digit numbers. You don't have to get 2 different stamps out to use, and it has little days of the week and months of the year as well. And then once you get past week 30, they came out with more calendar days and actually went down through 52, so you could use it for Project Life. And then it has individual numbers and some more words, and like of 7, of 12, of 30, of 52. So there's a lot of different things you could do here to mix and match. So I wanted to mention those to you, and any of those that are still available, I will definitely link below. And just as a reminder, in the description box, there's always a pretty lengthy list of some of my most commonly used products. And you can, look there and find things about papers and printers and adhesives and all that kind of stuff. None of them are affiliate links. They're just links to take you where I go to find those things. Excuse me. So if you're interested in anything that I use, you can always check down there. And if you don't see something, please make sure to leave a comment, and I will get back to you about where something came from or what the name of it is, or whatever you might need to know. So, excuse me, my throat is scratchy today. I am so sorry. So let's go ahead and look at the month of March. And in the last video, we ended with week 10, which included some of March. And then we're going to look at week 11 today as our starting point, and that was March 8th through 14th. And this was another card from the Stories by the Year kit from Allie Edwards. And I put a piece of cardstock right there so that I could have a nice place to stamp out. And a lot of things are becoming very pandemic related in this album. And I know some people, I've heard them say that they didn't want to include anything about COVID in their albums, that they might do a separate album. And I may still do something that's more specific just to COVID as well. But at this point, especially looking back, I mean, if it had only been something that lasted for a couple of months, maybe, I wouldn't feel that way. But looking back now, when we're past 2 years of dealing with it, it was a huge part of our lives. And so sharing information about the spread or about the measures that were put into place, or mandates or shutdowns or funny memes, and let's face it, we all probably share some of those funny memes throughout the time. So you're going to start to see some of that more and more often as I go through my album, because sometimes that was a lot of what my pictures and screenshots were, because nothing else was going on. So on this one, I've got just like a common conditions and then the symptoms and what they could be related to. And then I've got a picture of the color that I was getting my nails painted, which, by the way, kind of looks similar to that. Another little screenshot about different pandemics and epidemics that have gone on in the past. We were supposed to be heading to England at this point in time. We were going to Europe for 23 days and we got canceled the day before our flight was supposed to leave, right there at the beginning of the shutdown. This was from the tour company about some of the shutdowns. Just a picture of our supper. And then this UGG card. I'm pretty sure that was Stories by the Year kit as well. And then for the back of the hinge, I did a feelings card, and that's also from Stories by the Year. And I put tired, emotional, sad, angry, and relief, because we were just tormenting ourselves about what we needed to do about going on this trip or not with everything that was going on. So there was a slight bit of relief knowing the decision had been made for us, that we didn't have to worry about where we're going to lose our money if we didn't go and all those kind of things. So here's the journaling. My throat will allow me to read it today. It says, "What an emotional roller coaster of a week. As we went about making final preparations and starting to pack for our trip to Europe, the news about COVID-19 kept getting worse and worse. Places were beginning to close down. Countries were closing their borders in an effort to slow the spread of the coronavirus. We were so worried about what to do. On Thursday, our tour company announced cancellations to many countries, and we feared we would be next. Sure enough, as I was grabbing a quick lunch while out running errands, I got the call from our travel agent. Our tour was canceled. I was devastated, angry, yet somewhat relieved that the decision had been made for us, because we were really unsure about what to do. All those months of planning and anticipation went right down the COVID drain." Sorry, my throat. It sounds like I'm emotional, and I'm not. It's just my throat is like really, really weak sounding today. Hopefully I can finish getting through this. Okay, so week 12. This was a card that I recolored. It was originally like a yellow mustardy color, so I recolored it in Photoshop to kind of tie in more with some of these other blue, green, teal colors that I had. Stories by the Month card here as well. And I said we ventured out to have lunch in the car and try the new mac and cheese at Chick-fil-A. It was so strange being out right now. And then Olin is building me a new craft table that is based off a very expensive version at Pottery Barn. I'm so thankful he can do so many things. And then this is a picture of our luggage sitting down in our guest bedroom, where we had just shoved it back in there when we found out we weren't going. And the little phrase sticker says no. The one on the mac and cheese says yes, because it was delicious. But of course, the only drive-thrus were open at the time, so therefore we were eating in the car. And then for this one, I put a new season is here, because it was talking about social distancing. That was kind of a new, catchphrase that we hadn't really heard that much about until this whole thing started. And here's a picture of the plans, and then the picture of my husband working on it in the garage. So that was that week. And then week 13, this one was pretty colorful with a lot of red. And you'll see I didn't have anything that was not related to COVID, except for, let's see, this one is, I pray the last line holds true, and then it's just a little poem. So just several different memes about toilet paper and washing your hands to the theme of a song, and the number of cases by state. This card was from Stories by the Year kit, but I think, yeah, it's one that I think it was also a yellow, and I just recolored it. I probably color picked from this background color in Photoshop. That's typically what I do. And it just happened to work out that the blues and the reds and the purples all tied into my photos for that week. All right, and then we'll look at week 14, which takes us into the 4th of April. And again, several things are related to the pandemic, about the grocery workers closed for Easter. This was the finished desk painted and into my craft space, which I'm no longer in. I moved downstairs to a larger room a couple months ago. Quarantine wardrobe, a picture of my organized pantry. I had mentioned in a previous couple of weeks back that I was doing a decluttering and reorganizing challenge. And then the whole concept of curbside or contactless pickup was really becoming a hot topic. And so I had that screenshot and I put that. So let me read the journaling real quick. It says, around here, writing down the stuff of life. We're really starting to feel the effects of the pandemic and all the shutdowns that are happening. Grocery store workers are now considered essential workers, a new to me term meaning someone who has a critical, important job that must go on no matter what. They continue to show up for work during all this COVID mess and for rarely more than minimum wage pay. Churches have been forced to close, so Easter will also look much different this year. I couldn't help but save this meme. Olin finished building my new craft table and I absolutely love it. It's perfect in every way and I can't wait to fill it up and start creating layouts on it. If this meme about how we are all dressing and feeling during the quarantine isn't 100% true, then I don't know what is, and I put LOL because that was definitely the case. I'm still working through my decluttering and reorganizing challenge. The pantry looks so much better except for that box of oatmeal cream pies that is upside down. I can't unsee it. Curbside and contactless pickup options are popping up everywhere as stores work hard to stay open and make a profit during COVID-19. This keeps customers from having to enter the building, and it's thought this will slow the spread of the virus. I'm hoping this option stays around long after all this craziness is over and done. So again, a lot about the pandemic, but that was life. I mean, everything we did was affected and is still affected even now to some degree. And so for me, the decision to include those things felt like the right thing to do. Now for this page, this was an LE Studio. I can't remember if it was a card or a paper that I trimmed down. Same for these two things as well. They were cards and papers and I just trimmed them down. I didn't really have anything to match what I had in my Stories by the Year kit that I hadn't already used a couple of times. And so I just decided I would pick out something different, and I have a little LE Studio stash from where I subscribed there for a while. And so I pulled from those and found some things that worked out okay and kind of just focused on that color red. So that is where we'll end the video today. Again, I apologize for my scratchy throat. It's like the longer that I speak at one time, the scratchier that it gets. It just sounds unstable right now. But if you enjoyed the video, I would love a thumbs up down below. And please consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already and become a part of my little YouTube family. I'll have some close-ups at the end as well as over on Instagram where I would love for you to follow me as well. And until I see you in the next video, take care of yourself, do something good for yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.